Hello, welcome to Kabbalah of Adam. Have an exciting class tonight. I'm going to go ahead and say the prayer and we're going to get right into it. This is a class you must watch, you need to watch. We are going to explain everything tonight that you will ever need to know about Torah. Messiah, the worlds, creation, you name it. It's all going to be a part of this class. And after we say the prayer, we'll get into how it all came about. Root of the universe, master of all masters, father of mercy and forgiveness, we thank you, our God, and the God of our fathers, by bowing down and kneeling, that you brought us closer to your Torah and your holy work, and that you enable us to take part in the secrets of your holy Torah. How worthy are we that you grant us with such a big favor. That is the reason we plead before you, that you will forgive and acquit all of our sins, and they should not bring separation between you and us. May it be your will before you, our God and the God of our fathers, that you will awaken, prepare our hearts to love and revere you. May you listen to our utterances and open our closed heart to the hidden treasure of your Torah. And may our study be pleasant before your place of honor as aroma of sweet incense. And may you emanate to us light from the source of our soul to all of our being. And may the sparks of your holy servants, through which you revealed your wisdom to the world, shine. And may their merit and the merit of their fathers and the merit of their Torah and holiness support us, so we shall not stumble through our study. And by their merit, enlighten our eyes in our learning, as stated by King David, the sweet singer of Israel. Open my eyes so that I see wonders from your Torah. Because from his mouth God gives wisdom and understanding. May the utterance of my mouth and the thoughts of my heart find favor before you, God, my strength and my Redeemer. Amen. Okay, so a question was posed to me. How do we understand this? I know what we've been teaching in Enoch 3 over the past 9 weeks has been a lot of it very difficult, because there's this Metatron, there's that one, there's the lesser Yud Hey Vav Hey, there's the greater Yud Hey Vav Hey, there's all these different things. And one of it's the most in-depth topic that you can possibly delve into. Matter of fact, most people won't even touch it because it's so esoteric, if you will. However, we've gone through all the sources and all the proof text, and it's been clear to us over almost 2 decades now that every sage in the Talmud and the Midrash, the Zohar, you name it, they all knew all these concepts. It's nothing new to them. But it hit me that the reason it's so difficult is because we are Mashiach driven. We are Mashiach minded. All we want to know about is what is Messiah? Who is Messiah? All this Messiah stuff. And so I believe I've figured out how to teach every concept that we ever are going to need to know. What was posed to me is how do you understand it? And the answer that I came up with was, when I learned Torah from the aspect of emanation. I didn't learn it from the aspect of creation. In other words, I learned it from prior to Genesis chapter 1, really, or chapter 36, if you will, is where I learned it. And so, and unless you understand the emanation and the thought and the process as it goes through, and the measurements and the tzimtzum, then it's really hard to understand it from a creation aspect. Because once you understand, if you understand Torah from a creation aspect, you have God and then there's God. You have the lesser Metatron and you have the greater Metatron. And you have the angels and then you have God. And you have all these different things going on all the time. Okay? And so I've developed a teaching tool to teach everything we've ever wanted to know in Torah with one tool. It took me about 3 minutes. I had my girls at the office help me. It costs less than a nickel. And here it is, right here. This is how you can teach every single thing in Torah. Okay? So, this is Hasidim, this is Guvarot. But this is Guvarot, and this is Hasidim, and this is Guvarot. But now, this is Hasidim, and this is Guvarot. But now, this is Hasidim, and this is Guvarot. But now, this is Hasidim, and this is Guvarot. And so on, and so on, and so on. But it's just one thing. This is Messiah ben David. This is Messiah ben Joseph. But this is Messiah ben David relative to this, because this is Messiah ben Joseph. But this is Messiah ben David relative to this, because this is Messiah ben Joseph. The one beneath is Josephic. But if you start right here, that's the Davidic. And this is the Josephic. This is Octriel, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Nuriel, Yehoel, Shmuel. But this is Metatron. This is Adam Kadmon. This is Og, Sog, Ma, and Ben. This is Akudim, Nekudim, Berudim. But it's just one thing. It's not separate from itself. This is the greater Metatron. This is the lesser Metatron. Uh-oh. This is the lesser Metatron. This is the greater Metatron. This is God. This is from emanation to creation. Uh-oh. Now this is creation to you. This is greater Metatron. This is lesser Metatron. Not anymore. This is greater Metatron. This is lesser Metatron. It's just one thing. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I should be able to hand this to anybody, and they should be able to teach me something in Torah. Okay? So, Glenn, you're going to be the guinea pig. I'm going to hand this to you, and I want you to teach the levels of the soul.
This is Yechida,
Chaya,
Chaya,
Neshama,
Shama, Ruach,
and Nefesh.
Nefesh.
Right. And if you only need that many.
Yeah. Or just a minute. Maybe this was Yechida. This
Yeah.
was Chaya. And this was Shama. This is Ruach. And this is Nefesh.
That's correct. But how many souls is there?
It's just one soul.
It's just one soul. That's correct.
It's one soul.
Each one is contained within the other.
I think you need to really make it complicated to put them together.
Well, so now Glenn just taught us the levels of the soul. All right? This is Atzilut. This is Berea. This is Yetzirah. This is Asiya. It's just one universe. That's everything is contained within it. Okay? So, when you're learning Metatron, this is Metatron. But there's no such thing as Metatron. Because we're going to study, he is the choir leader. He's the Kohen Gadol. He's Samael. He's Michael. See what they're doing? They're only teaching in the Prat about the cloud, the whole thing. Okay? This is a secret of all the gematrias plus the Kolel. It's plus the unit. So this we'll be able to teach the Sfirot. This is Keter, Hokmah, Bina, or Keter, Abba, Ima, Teferet, Hasidim, Guvarot, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, Malchut. But it's just one thing. It's just where you are studying it from. This is Sandalphon. This is Shmuel. This is Elijah. This is Metatron, Enoch. This is Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Joseph, David, Solomon. It's just one thing. Now, if we look at it like this, I'm looking at it from lesser Metatron, but are you looking at it from lesser Metatron? You are if you're looking at it from your point of view, because now this is the greater Metatron. And you're looking at it from a lesser Metatron. Is there such thing as Metatron? No, it's God. And everything it contains in it. Messiah ben David, Messiah ben Joseph, the resurrection. When all the worlds and all the levels of the soul and everything that has fallen out is now brought back up. You see, we're not outside the Garden of Eden, we're in it. We're in the inside of it. It's never left the gone. We're not outside of creation. We are creation. We are the thing that is rising in his thought. Everything that has risen in his thought. This is the Orphim, the Hayot, the Seraphim, all the way up. You should be able to take one of these and teach everything about Isaiah 53 in it. As we learned, there are at least 10 aspects of Mashiach in Isaiah 53. Who is the Messiah? Yud-Heh-Vav is the Messiah. Adonai is the Messiah. Shaddai is the Messiah. Elohim is the Messiah. The Shekhinah is the Messiah. Israel is the Messiah. The Torah is the Messiah. And on and on and on. Moses is Messiah. Because we don't have any concept of Messiah, we think it's something separate from this. I am Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. Other than me, there is no Savior. And everything that comes along with it. Hashem Sevaot. Master of Legions. Lord of Lords. King of Kings. Da, 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 da. So, for about a nickel and a few staples, one sheet of paper, every concept in Torah can be taught right here. Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Yael, Deborah, Hannah, Ruth. Doesn't matter where you start. There's just one thing. Those are aspects of the Shekhinah. It's male on this side, it's female on this side. When it's coming down, it's male. When it's going back up, it's female. This one is receiving this one. This one's male, this one's female. But as it's given to this one, now this one's female and this one's male. So here's the deal. Unless you understand Hug, Hasidim and Gugurot, masculine, feminine, and you take male and female, which is the story of creation, but take it back to emanation, now you have your twin messiahs. Guvurot is Messiah ben Joseph, Hasidim is Messiah ben David. So once we format, and Hasidim would be greater Metatron, Guvurot would be lesser Metatron. When the Guvurot is back inside the Hasidim, that is the emanation of the glory. We're going to find out today that Metatron is the garment of the Shekhinah. What's it talking about? The aspect of the Hasidim is surrounding the aspect of the Guvurot. You know? Everything in Torah works on this principle, and it's just one thing. So how do you get to the greater? You've got to enter through the lesser. How many thrones are there? This is the throne, and this is the throne above. This is the throne below. How many thrones are there? Oh, there's just one. Rabbi Akiva says, oh, that's just his footstool. Right? Everything in Talmud, every kasha, every machloket is men talking in this language. Who is Mashiach? Some say it's Ben Naphtali. Some say it's Ben. They all listed the name of their Rebbe. Of course they did. Now, then you get into, well, why would he say the Mashiach's name is Ben Naphtali? Well, because it comes from the word nephal, the fall, from the word nephilim. Because the Midrash tells us in Sanhedrin, and also we're going to go through a little bit of it. I'm popular and I'm sorry, the phone keeps ringing. Adam saw that David was only to live for 3 hours. And ask, is there any remedy for this to the Holy One? And the Holy One says, it arose in my thought. Whose thought? Adam's thought? Or the Holy One's thought? Adam's thought or the Holy One's thought? It's his thought. David arose in his thought. How long will I live? 1,000 years, he said. Can I give a gift? Now think about it. Adam is asking God, let's make it real simple. Adam is asking God in Atzilut if I can give a gift. What's his Havamina? Isn't God the giver? But you have to have something to be the receiver. And if I give a gift, is it binding? Yes, of course. So Adam says, I will give him 70 years of the mazal. The mazel. Now, he gives David 70 years. Of course, David died on his birthday, 70 years from the very day he was born. But also now we have the 70 languages. We have all the 70 nations. We have everything. Everything that Adam gave to this world was because of David. But David, in that aspect, is Messiah ben Joseph. Because it's the lesser aspect. It has fallen. The secret of Bar Naphtali. The fallen David. Now, so what did Adam do? He brought a contract, a gift contract. He signed it. But who are the two witnesses that signed the contract with him? One was the Holy One, and the other one was Metatron. Why would Adam think that you can give a gift? Because he understands that David and creation is something different. It is fixing to go outside. So how do you keep something outside apart? It's called Messiah ben Joseph, that's connected to Messiah ben David. They're always one thing. This one is now this one. And this one is now this one. But don't think that they are not connected. If it's running a program, how can it be a program? Because King David is Adam now and was always. When it comes to the 70, it's coming into 3D. Therefore, David exists. Big concept. Yet everything was already in 4D to review. Everything. So we learned about the Zahara Ila'ah, the aspect of Adam, which was Metatron, which was Enoch, which was set aside before the fall, to run the system of what's going to become 3D physicality land in the future. Why are there two signatures, Hasidim and Guvarot, the twin messiahs? Everything is bound up in Hasidim and Guvarot, the twin messiahs, Metatron and the Holy One. It's one thing. And Adam, all the way to David, as we explained. Okay? So I'm gonna read a little bit here. If you have the book Sukkah, Tractate Sukkah, book 16, it's in, this whole thing's talking about Messiah, pretty much. So to use this, keep this in mind, okay? And this whole thing's talking about Messiah. And 52b3, the Gemara expounds on the verse. And it shall assure peace. If Assyria will come to our land, and he will tread upon our palaces, we will set up 7 shepherds and 8 princes against him. Who are these 7 shepherds? They are King David in the middle with Adam. See how they included Adam right there? And Seth and Methuselah to the right. Abraham, Jacob, and Moses to the left. And who are the 8 princesses? Yeshaiah, the father of King David, King Saul, the prophets, Samuel, Amos, Zephaniah, and the righteous King Zedekiah, and the Messiah, and Elijah the prophet. And you're going to find that Messiah and Elijah the prophet always go together. Because it's Metatron. So what they just do, they went, we're going to set up Messiah. And we're going to go, oh, it's King David, it's this, it's Seth, it's Methuselah. Oh, it's just one thing. Because it's Elijah, it's Messiah. You see, they're teaching this. But if you don't have this sitting in front of you, you're going to think, oh, it's all, they're just, they don't know what they're talking about. It's scattered all over the place. In Sukkot 52b2, it says the Gemara cites another verse related to the Messianic era. Hashem showed me 4 craftsmen. Who are these 4 craftsmen? The Gemara explains. Rav Hina bar Bizna said in the name of Rabbi Shimon Hesida, they are the Messiah, descended from King David, the Messiah, descended from the tribe of Joseph, Elijah the prophet, and the Kohen Gadol. Who's the Kohen Gadol? Metatron. Oh, this is Elijah. Oh, this is Messiah ben Joseph, and this is Messiah ben David. Or this is Messiah ben Joseph, and this is Messiah. They just taught this. Nothing else. They talked about Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David right here. And then, parenthetically, Elijah, the prophet, and the Kohen Gadol. What are the 4 things? Yud Hey Vav Hey. The Gemara talks about Messiah ben Yosef, and y'all have heard Christianity twist this in 1,200 different ways. In Zechariah 12:10, behold, they looked toward the one they had pierced. Of course, it says stabbed, as in shecht in the neck. Okay? So the Gemara turns its attention to the verse. What is the nature of this eulogy? The Gemara replies, Rav Dosa and the rabbis disagree about it. Why are they disagreeing? Well, one of them's going to tell you this, and one of them's going to tell you that, and one of them's going to tell you this. Or one of them might tell you the front side of this thing, and one of them might explain the back side of this thing. Because Metatron is Michael and Samael, as we have learned. He's Hesed, and he's Guvarot, judgment and din. Just one thing. Which side are you getting on? The front side of it or the back side of it? One said the eulogy will be for Messiah, descended from the tribe of Joseph, who will be killed in battle. One said it will be for the evil inclination that has been killed. One said it's for Messiah ben Joseph that's going to be killed. Another says, oh, it's the evil inclination. Right here, you have to understand everything that's Josephic is in 3D. Therefore, it's all in the evil inclination. The Gemara questions the second view. Oh, we don't question the first view because Jews, Isaiah 53, Jews are getting killed all the time. But let's look at the second view, the evil inclination view. It is understanding, according to the one that says that the eulogy will be for Messiah, descended from Joseph, that will be killed. This is why Christianity says, oh, Isaiah 53 is Messiah. It is. But there's a front side and there's a back side. There's a Hasidim and there's a Guvarot, even to Messiah ben Joseph. Everything has its respective polarity. That's why the mourner will be so bitter. As it is written, they will look toward me, the one that they have stabbed, and they will mourn over him as one that mourns over an only child. The death of God's anointed will certainly be cause for great grief. But according to the one that said the eulogy is for the evil inclination, who will have been killed, does that warrant a eulogy? When God removes all 3D, when he removes the evil inclination and all physicality, they will mourn it. Because it's holographic. It's not going to just be Messiah ben Joseph. It's going to be everything that Messiah ben Joseph contains within it. So why will they weep? The Gemara answers. Rav Yehuda expounded, in the future, the Holy One, blessed be he, will bring the evil inclination and slaughter it in the presence of the righteous and in the presence of the wicked, Hasidim and Guvarot. To the righteous, the evil inclination will appear like a high mountain that can hardly be scaled. And to the wicked, it will appear like a strand of hair that can easily be snapped. These will weep, and these too will weep. The righteous will weep and say, how are we able to overcome such a high mountain? The evil inclination. How are we able to beat it? And the wicked will weep and say, how are we not able to overcome that? And so too, the Holy One, blessed be he, will wonder with them. Thus says Hashem, Lord of hosts, Metatron, Hashem Sevaot. As it will be a wondrous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in those days, so it will be wondrous in my eyes. Now, back to our Adam to David. This is the next page. The Gemara cites a brisa, Messiah descending from Joseph. The rabbis taught in a brisa, the Holy One, blessed be he, will say to the Messiah, descended from David, Messiah descended from David, who will be revealed, we pray, speedily in our day. As a boon of me, I will grant it to you. As it says, I shall proclaim it, that it should be inscribed as a remembrance, etc. I have begotten you this day. Ask of me, and I will give nations for your inheritance. But having seen that the Messiah descending of Joseph was killed, the Messiah descendant of David will say to him, Master of the world, I ask for nothing but life itself. And God answered him, before you said it, your father David had already prophesied about it, and his prayer that you should live has been granted. As it says, he asked life of you, and you have granted it to him. Adam to David is Messiah ben Joseph. So too, David to Adam is Messiah ben Joseph. Because Adam in the fallen state, if this is Adam and this is David, Adam in the fallen state, David to Joseph. You see, it never changed the path. It stayed within itself. Messiah ben Joseph, Od Yosef Hai, and Joseph will live. And it will be called Messiah ben David. It's one thing, but it's dimensionality. It's Hasidim and Guver wrote. One is always concealed within the other. It has the appearance of two, but it's never two. It has appearance of lesser Metatron and greater Metatron, but it never is. It's always one. We can study the lesser Metatron. We can study the greater aspects of Metatron. We can study Messiah ben Joseph. We can study Messiah ben David. But until you understand that this is nothing but the tzaddik, this is nothing but the spine of Adam. This is the Nakash. This whole thing is Nakash. Good, bad Nakash, good Nakash. Now what are you going to do? It's all relative to itself. Every piece, you can study the entire Talmud as long as you have this in front of you and plug in the pieces. Because this Mishnah, this Gemara, is exactly the opposite in Sanhedrin of the Mishnah. Because it's Adam talking to David. Now it's David talking to Messiah ben Joseph. But just as it arose in his thought, he already granted the gift before the world had ever done it. Because it's all just one thing. Now, let's study Metatron. And there is no such thing as Metatron. Now that we have our concepts down. Page 118 in your Enoch 3 book. I believe is where we stopped. Isn't that right? Uh-huh. Okay. Do you remember about where we stopped there, Brandon? Did you put a mark? Let's, I think we stopped about Metatron's Prince of the World of Yetzirah. I believe we talked about that. Metatron is the prince and rulers over Yetzirah. He's the head of the angels. Metatron is the prince of the world, for he is appointed over the performance of songs on the earth, while to collect them and bring them before the Holy One. Okay? So, here to here. Right? Prince of the world, for he functioned at creation. This is in Hulin. He was the cosmic protogonon of Adam Kadmon. So, if we have Adam Kadmon, we have Adam HaRishon. Just one thing. This is in the image of this, and this is in the image of this, and this is in the image of this, and so on, and so on, and so on, and this is Adam. Uh-oh, this is Seth, this is Enoch, this is Abraham, it just keeps, it's just one big thing, okay? Because we've learned that Adam HaRishon was greater than Metatron before the fall. He was Adam Kadmon, of course. Number 4 there. As in earlier literature, Metatron is called the Prince of the Presence. The Sar HaPanim, the Minister of the Faces. So it's really not the presence, it's Minister of the Faces of God, not the presence, although it is his presence. This is usually taken in the sense of the prince who has access to the divine presence or who represents the divine presence to man. Playing upon the word panim or face is the Kabbalistic passage explaining the epithet as follows. He is called the Prince of the Panim, for he has 2 faces, Hasidim and Guvarot. Lesser Metatron, Messiah ben Joseph. Greater Metatron, Messiah ben David. The Yud He Vav He hides within the term Metatron. The Aramaic equivalent is Mana de Apin, the overseer. He is the overseer of the faces. He is the Hapanim Sar, the Sar Hapanim. That's why it says in Exodus, he tells Moses, my presence or my face shall go before them. This refers to Metatron, the face, the facets, or the phases that he needs. Metatron says, Lesser Metatron speaks to Moses, says, I'm going to go before you. Moses says, if Greater Metatron doesn't go before us, we're not going. Greater Metatron says, okay. So his presence went before him. He was in the system. Did the greater go before him? Yes. Called the Lesser Metatron. The Prince of the Presence. Metatron is the face of God for something that has no face. There are no class of angels of the presence mentioned in the Kabbalistic literature in the Book of Jubilees, save for, but the function of the Prince of the Presence is sometimes distributed among the 3 angels, Catriel, Metatron, and Sandalphon. These are this is Metatron, Catriel, Metatron, Sandalphon. You know, you just had 3 rings. It's God, Metatron. Metatron is the Prince of the Presence from the side of Tov, good, and Samael from the Prince of the Presence of the side of evil. He has 2 faces. He's the Minister of the Faces. Who is Satan, the Samael? Metatron. Who's that? God. That's the din aspect. Who's the angel of death? Metatron. Who's the one that does it? God. That's his left side. That's his Guvarot side. A battery is one thing. It has 2 poles, positive and negative. You grab the negative, it's going to kill you. Type within this context, right? That's called don't touch the ark. It was the angel Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, Metatron, who appeared to Balaam. This refers to Metatron. He is the redeeming angel. See, they just flip. Gevurot, Hasidim. There's the twin messiahs right there. Unless you study God from the aspect of Hasidim and Gevurot, the twin messiahs, lesser and greater Metatron, you'll never understand Torah. It's impossible. The redeeming angel in Genesis 48 is Metatron, the Malach HaGoel. Jacob's redeeming angel was Actriel, the aspect of Metatron in Berea. Naturally, Metatron is identified as the angel in the Lord of Exodus. There are sources that say, oh, that was Yehoel. Okay. Yehoel says, go up and speak to Actriel. You know? Okay. Lesser, greater. This is the connection. He is also usually identified with Yehoel. Metatron is called Yehoel. He was meant by the Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. He was meant by the Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. Come up to Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. Now, if you look at that Hebrew word right there, and you start at the Aleph and the Lamed, and go to the Vav, Hey, Vav of the next word. I will show you. I will try to put this here. You see where I have that circled right there. Okay? See that, Glenn? Right here?
Yeah, got it.
Okay? The word Yehoel is in the verse. That's where they get it from. The words to go up is Yehoel. They're showing you the math there. See it in the book. That's how they know the angel was Yehoel. Encoded in the Metatronic speech. Metatron has numerous names. He has 70 names. He's the bearer of the 70 or the 72 divine names. He has 60 myriads of names, each name signifying a specific function that he has. There's a book called the Rokeach, the Rabbi Eliezer of Wormis, the Sefer Hasid, talks about the 77 names. Metatron is the translated Enoch. The influence of Hebrew book Enoch on this point is very marked. The Zohar onward and concepts of the elevation of Enoch into Metatron are made for the base of highly mystical speculations on the pilgrimage of the souls that descent in the spirit and the terrestrial world and the ascent again to its celestial home. That is very important. Through Metatronics, through Enoch, this is how God got itself here and got us here. And through this very aspect is of Enoch going back up to returning to its Metatronic form is exactly how we will, because that is the pathway. That is the channel. That's the pilgrimage. Enoch Metatron ideas are connected in Genesis 5:24. He was not, for God took him. And Enoch's elevation into Metatron Na'ar is based on Proverbs 22:6, which we have studied. Enoch was made into the Na'ar, i.e. Metatron. This is Hanuk La Na'ar. Enoch is the youth, the educator. All right, turn the page. Page 120. How much time we got left there, Brad?
15 minutes.
Perfect. We're going to try to get through page 122 today. On F on page 120. Metatron is connected with the divine secrets in heaven. He has a tabernacle of his own, Mishkan HaNa'ar, the lesser temple. Michael's function of the celestial high priest is sometimes transferred to Metatron. He is further represented as the Selah Sebur, the appointee of the congregation, Shaliach Sebur, the celestial choir master and the supervisor of the performance of celestial songs. There are two celestial tabernacles. One is concealed in the highest and is to be revealed only in the connection with the manifestation of the world to come. One is hidden in absolute. Okay, so you have one here, one here. As soon as this one is here, it is revealed. This is a Mobius strip now. Because this one will be inside of that one. There's the Hasidim and the Guvurot into the Hasidim. The other is a tabernacle that existed ideally before creation. So you have one of emanation, one of creation, as we've discussed. But was not only established until the moment when the tabernacle on earth was completed. So when the tabernacle on earth was completed, why? Because they're connected. This was Solomon's tabernacle on earth. This is the tabernacle above. The tabernacle is the tabernacle of Metatron. In the tabernacle of Metatron, Michael is the high priest. The Zohar explicitly denies that Metatron performs service of the high priest in the tabernacle of Metatron. This passage instead intimates that Metatron represents the deity in the second tabernacle. It quotes, however, the tradition, according to the Holy One, showed Moses the celestial tabernacle and Metatron performing service on it. What did they just do? They just revealed and concealed. They just revealed the lesser Metatron and concealed the greater Metatron. That's all they did. That's all they're ever doing. Oh, no, it wasn't the greater. It was the lesser. It wasn't Metatron. It was Michael that did it. And in a minute, it's going to come back and they're going to say, oh, no, that was Metatron. That wasn't Michael. Because now Michael is the lesser. Because it doesn't matter if you pick, oh, this was Michael. Oh, well, this is just Metatron. Metatron has two immediately subordinate angels, Uzzah and Azza. Well, this is a curveball. Because Uzzah and Azza are the Guvurot angels, the angels of destruction. All the ones that were destroyed at Noah were from them. These are the parents of the Nephilim, the giants. These are the parents of Samael and Lilith. And Og, who is Eleazar, Abraham's buddy. Now what? They just jumped to the backside over here and going to explain Metatron. You got to give a scapegoat to Azazel. One of these, Uzazel, is the celestial high priest. They just taught you who within Samael. Who is the Guvurot? Azazel. Who is the Hasidim? Uzazel, which is the high priest. Metatron is the Sak Yah. He is the high priest in heaven. Sak means pure light. Well, I just thought Uzziel was the high priest. I thought Michael was supposed to be the high priest. Oh, it's Metatron. He's the high priest in heaven. Are you looking at the Hasidim? Or are you looking at the Guvarot? Are you looking at Messiah ben Joseph? Or are you looking at Messiah ben David? Where are you looking? It makes a, you're looking at the lesser, you're looking at the greater. Metatron is the priest officiating at the celestial altar. Metatron is the Shliach Sibur, the appointee of the congregation. Metatron is the Hazan. He is the cantor. Metatron is appointed over all the songs that are sung on earth to collect them and bring them before the divine presence and the prayers. Metatron utters the bracha. Metatron says, Baruch Shem Kavod Leolam Ve'ed. I thought Jacob was the one who said that. Jacob is Metatron. Now it makes sense. Enoch said these words every time he stitched up a shoe. Metatron, fixing the lower levels. Baruch Shem Kavod, Mount. Let's fix the lower level of the kingdom and bring it up to the glory and make it one. All that means. Metatron has cosmical significance. He is the cosmical, let's use the word prototype of the first of God's creation. What's the first thing God created? Metatron. Well, I thought that was Adam Kadmon. It is. Well, I thought before that it was the Ori and Soph. It was. See how it works? Or Ian Soph, or Ian Soph, Adam Kadmon, Ab, Sod, Ma, Ben, Akudim. He is the creative power of the divine word. Oh, Metatron wrote the Torah, created the Torah. He is the first of the emanations. See, we're talking about emanation. We were talking about creation. Now he went back to emanation. He is Adam Kadmon. Who is Messiah? Adam Kadmon. Well, I thought it was Messiah ben David. It is. Because Adam HaRishon is Messiah ben Joseph relative to Adam Kadmon. Depends on which ring you're talking about at the moment. It's all in a ratio. And once you see how he's flipping back and forth, he's writing all these things down. He has no idea. The guy that put all this together has no idea that he's flipping back and forth, and it's confusing everybody. But if you can flip back and forth and play the game, play the ping pong game, it's no big deal. Metatron is Adam Kadmon. Look, he just flipped again. Metatron was the beginning of God's creation. He created 6, Breshit, because there's 6 letters in the word Breshit. These are the 6 letters of Metatron, as is known. He created 6. These 6 letters are the word for the 6 letters of Metatron. Metatron is the first of God's creation. So now what happens is you get dumped on the back side of this thing. In the beginning was the Word, and He was with the Word, and He was the Word. If you'll pull the paganism of Jesus out of that and stick the holiness of Metatron in there, John 1:1 or whatever the verse is absolutely correct. Once you know your topology. This is also expressed in thus. Metatron is the first letter. He is the Aleph. He's also the Aleph. 1 and 1,000. How many years was Adam supposed to live? 1,000. That's why we read that at the beginning of the class. Metatron carries the whole world. You want to know who has the whole world in his hands? He's got the whole world in his hands. Metatron is the creative power of the divine word. He is Yesod Olam, the pillar of the world. Yesod Olam. The beginning of God's creation was Metatron, who was the prototype of man made by the Holy One in his image. Who is Adam? Metatron. Who did they create in the image in their likeness? Adam. Male and female. Hasidim and Guvarot. Messiah ben Joseph, Messiah ben David. Metatron. Adam in the garden is nothing but Metatron. We take his Zahara Ila'ah out. We got Enoch. No problem. No klipa ever gets on that. And the rest is, and the Yechida is still up there. So all we have to worry about is the Nefesh. Only the klipa attacks the Nefesh. And so where are the 70 built out of? The Nefesh. Because it's the only thing that's contaminated. God created man in his own image means God created man in the image of Metatron. But he also created Metatron in his image. Works both ways. As long as he is worthy, he carried the image of Metatron within himself. Man. As long as a man is worthy, he carries the image of Metatron within himself. If he is not worthy, the image of Metatron is exchanged by the image of Samael, which is the backside of Metatron, which is how you have a Jesus in the system. That's only the backside. In the image of Elohim, that's why it says he created it in the image of Elohim, not the image of Havayah. Because the image of Elohim is Sam, he created him. He created it with Hasidim and Guvarot, with a front side and with a back side. With Messiah ben Joseph, with Messiah ben David. What is the backside of Messiah ben Joseph? Sukkot 52, I just read it to you. The evil inclination. As long as you stay on the topology, it works all the way down. Metatron is the Shekhinah, or the presence of the Shekhinah in the world and in man. He is the first spirit man. We got some man God. Because your soul comes from him, and when it's in you, it's spirit man. Who at the same time is the vehicle of the deity and is presented in the righteous and at the last instance in all men. He is the eternal, spiritual, divine essence in man. In his identity with Enoch, he symbolized the pilgrimage of the spirit from its home in the presence of the deity through the different spheres. We can call them sphirot, whatever. He's saying, how did God get here? Through his creation of man that he cloaked himself in or put himself in. This is where Christianity gets their entire thing. They're just stuck on the backside. In the spheres, to the universe, down to the terrestrial world, and back again to its source. Here lies the real center of gravity of the Kabbalistic speculations on Metatron. What did he just describe? He just described the Histashalut, the order of spiritual dissension and creation from emanation. You know? He doesn't understand. He thinks it's speculations. He doesn't understand we have the entire map and the entire math of it because we have one of these. And he didn't. He has no idea how it got from emanation to creation and how he's going to get creation back into emanation, called the world to come. He doesn't have a clue. We often find the expression Shekhinah, that is Metatron, when an examination of the context shows that is what is really meant is the Shekhinah is contained in Metatron. Uh-oh, there's Hug. No, it's no big deal. The Shekhinah is contained in Metatron. And in a minute, he's going, oh, but Metatron is only the garment of the Shekhinah. He just went the other way. Or manifested by Metatron. He is the connection link between the Shekhinah and the individual angels and spirits, and hence is represented as having his higher and lower spheres of existence or activity. In other words, sometimes it's going to be Michael. Sometimes it's going to be Gabriel. Sometimes, oh, well, there's the Shekhinah. But I thought the Shekhinah was Michael and Gabriel. Oh, well, it is. It's just one thing. So, 3 men show up and talk with Abraham. And God spoke to him and said, was it 3 or did God show up? Depends on how you want to look at it. If you want to look at each individual one, it was Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. Raphael showed up to heal his circumcision. Michael showed up to tell Sarah she was pregnant. And Gabriel, the Guberode aspect, showed up to destroy Sodom. And it says, and Abraham and God walked and looked at Sodom. It's just one thing. But you got to be able to study it in its particulars. But if you don't hold on to the unification of it, you're going to get into a Avodah Zarah every stinking time. This is the expression of the statement. There are 2 Metatrons. Here we go. There are 2 Metatrons, right? One is the Metatron the Great. The other is Metatron the Created. One is the one of emanation. One is the one of creation. One is how it emanated and one is how it came to be. The former is the Shekhinah, or the body of the Shekhinah. The other is the angel prince and celestial ruler. What's he saying? One is in the aspect of Bia, one's in the aspect of Abia. Atzilut and Bria Yitzir Tzia. One is the lesser and one is the greater. As long as you keep it right here, you're good. He's just looking at this end and he's looking at, oh, there must be 2. One is from the aspect of creation. One is from the aspect of emanation. It's easy. So, the former is distinguished from the latter by inserting the letter Yud, Metatron, to signify him as the bearer of the Shekhinah. What's he saying? Oh, it's no big deal here. Here's the proof text. There's a Metatron, which is the greater, and there's a Metatron, which is the lesser. One of them is masculine and one of them is feminine. They're not, so there's 2, but they're in union. Because there's Hasidim and Guvarot. There's twin messiahs. There's Adam and Eve. There's Hasidim and Guvarot. There's greater Metatron and lesser Metatron. But there's no such thing as 2. So with the Yud, we get the aspect of the lesser. We get the 10 Sfirot. With the 6 letters of Metatron, plus the Yud, we go 6, 7. 6 days, 7th day he rested. We get the 7 days of the week. Everything is made through this process. So the name of Metatron in Berea is Metatron Ha-Nivra. The name of Metatron in Yetzirah is Metatron HaNotzri. Does that ring a bell with anybody? Metatron HaNotzri. What's the backside of Metatron in Yetzirah's name? Yeshu HaNotzri. And the Metatron of Asiya is the Metatron HaNetzal. Now, let's finish page 122 for the night. The great Metatron refers to the Shirokoma, for he is the Adam Elyon, the self-expressive deity of the first spirit man. This is an aspect of a Shirokoma. A Shirokoma is from the emanation to creation and on. But let's just call it from emanation to creation. It's how it measures itself. It's its metric. It's its Metatronics, how it did it. The Adam Elyon. Adam Elyon has a head, has a neck, has a spine, right? Because Mashiach is Gematria 358. And Nakash is Gematria 358. So you have a Yud, which is a little mark. You have a Vav, which is a little longer mark. And then you have a Nun, which is a little mark and a little longer mark and a lot longer mark. Nakash. From Yud to Nun. Nukva. Male, female. Hasidim, Guvarot. That's why the Nakash went to Eve, because he knew he could get in through the Guvarot, because he's Guvarot. This is nothing but the Nakash, the spine, the staff, the Mate, the Memtet, hey, right? So you have Adam Elyon versus Adam Tokton, the upper Adam, the lower Adam, the upper Adam, the lower Adam. Just one atom. Are you looking at his head or are you looking at his feet? The Shirokoma is the measurement status from top to bottom. It was Metatron who showed himself to Moses and the prophets and did not show himself to any man. He is the glory of the Holy One. There's your Hasidim and Guvarot. When the Guvarot is on the inside, the light emanates through the Hasidim. There's your glory. Man was created in the image of Metatron. And Metatron is created in the image of Adam Kadmon. And Adam Kadmon is Metatron. And Metatron, and that's created in the image, and so on and so on and so on. It's like looking through a graduated tube. So that's why it says that Tzaddik declares it and God does it. Because once you're in the system, it is the system. Joshua wants to stop the sun. No problem. Moses wants to split the sea. No problem. He's Metatron. Joshua's Metatron. Is he God? He's in it. He's not. He's the lesser relative to the greater. He declared it, it happened. Shekhinah is clothed in Metatron. See, there it is. The 10 descendants of the Shekhinah were in Metatron. Descents, rather. The 10 descents were in Metatron. The Shekhinah rest in Metatron, or on the hands of Metatron. Metatron is the body of the Shekhinah. At the same time, he is the manifestation of the first or highest spirit, the first spirit man. This spirit is in the celestial Bat-Zug of the righteous. In other words, he's the channel in every single righteous person. He is present in all the righteous as the vehicle of the deity in them. Jesus ain't special at all. Metatron was the first emanation of the Holy Spirit. He was the first spirit. Neshama. That's the Zahara Ila'ah. For Metatron emanated all the individual spirits and all the angels. Everything comes from him. Metatron is the Na'ar. He is the son of Ema, which is the Shekhinah. So, well, I thought we had Keter Hokmah Bina. This is Ema, so you're saying Metatron is her son. Why not? Just links in a chain. This is Metatron, yeah. Well, this is female as related to this one. But now this one's female related to this one. This one's female related to this one. The lower one's always female. Metatron as the first spirit from which all the individual spirits have emanated in the presence, and all individual spirits and all men, as long as they keep vital contact with their divine spiritual source. If you keep, if you're in the system, if you get this, then you're always in contact with Metatron, with God, with the Shekhinah, with the angels, with the Mashiach, with everything it can possibly be. There is nothing outside of this unless your mind goes outside. You're in the corridor. It's the Metatronics, the system. You're in the tunnel. This is true tunnel vision. The technical term for man in this vital connection with his divine spiritual source is the tzaddik, the righteous. A tzaddik the term has been taken, and now it's, oh yeah, he's a good, he's pious, he's humble, no, he may be. But a tzaddik is somebody that's plugged into the system right here. That's what the true definition of tzaddik is. It's not the accepted slang term of a righteous guy. It's specific. Tzaddik Yesod Olam. Metatron is Yesod Olam. Metatron hence is represented as present in all the righteous. He is Enoch, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Elijah, Ishmael ben Elisha, Rabbi Ishmael. He was the spirit neshama of the first Adam. But it left, it should say before he sinned, that's the Zahara Ila'ah. Metatron was in Joseph. He was in Noah. The outstanding saints, prophets, righteous were all avatars of Metatron. There is nobody in Torah that is not a Metatron. There's nobody in Torah that is not an aspect of God. It doesn't exist. The only thing that exists here is God in the aspect of Messiah ben Joseph, or gonna be in the aspect of Messiah ben David. Because they can't exist without each other. Metatron, as a spiritual essence of man, is expressed by the term madrega of Metatron, the levels of Metatron. That word means levels. The celestial light and the divine spark, the center column. He's the spine. He is the spirit of Adam. Let's skip down to Metatron, the second, third paragraph, fourth paragraph. Metatron is the ladder in Jacob's vision. Because Sulam is, if you take the word Sandalphon, Octrail, and Metatron, it's spelled Sulam. If you take the letters from those three angels, it's spelled Sulam. And Sulam is the same gematria as Sinai. Did they climb the mountain, or did they go into and up to through Metatron? That's why they'll never find the mountain, because it's not a rock. It is Metatron himself. Metatron is the ladder in Jacob's vision on which the angels were descending and ascending. The Ophanim. He is the tzaddik, the righteous, the pillar of the world, the foundation of the universe. in Proverbs 10:25. He represents the ascent of the spirits to its home, the presence of the Shekinah. And lastly here, the Proverb 22:6. Educate the youth. This is Enoch, Lanaar, Pedarko. Educate the youth in the way they should go, and they will not depart. So hopefully tonight I have educated you with the concept of this little deal right here that everybody probably made in the 3rd grade, of how to understand God, how to understand Messiah, how to understand all the aspects and everything everybody's talking about, and all the different kashas and all the different machloket. Front side, back side, you got every tool you ever need right here. And the Torah is amazing, and the sages are amazing. I'll be gone. This is the class for this week. I'll catch y'all next week.